Last night, on the eve of his 100th day in office, President Trump doubling down on his promise to overhaul the VA. So exactly how much has the president accomplished? Joining me now to discuss is the president's VA Secretary, David Shulkin. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining us this morning. So the president ran on a 10-point plan to fix the VA. You've been charged with implementing it. What accomplishments do you think have been most important to try to turn around that department?
Well, I think we've been focused with the president's support on getting those 10 points done. We have expanded the amount of veterans that are out in the community getting care, so we're fixing the access issue. We're really beginning to address the accountability to make sure that employees understand that to work at VA is a privilege and we're not going to tolerate bad behavior. And we're beginning to modernize the system, Pete.
Absolutely. That sounds like a lot of choice, accountability, but also transparency. One of the moves that I thought was excellent that the department did was open up the wait times in VA facilities. Some good, some bad, but the more information people have, the more empowered veterans are.
Well, there's no doubt that we have a lot of problems in the VA, and the way I believe you fix it is by letting people know exactly what's going on, the good and the bad, and that's the way you begin to address the problems.
Mr. Secretary, the 10th point of his 10-point plan was about the simple idea that the dollars follow the veteran. If they go to a VA facility, great, but if they want to go to a private provider, they can as well. You talked about how veterans are using more care in the community. The choice program was extended, but it still allows the VA bureaucrat to decide where you go and when you get it. Is there another step in making sure vets have true choice?
Well, the president about 10 days ago signed a plan to extend the choice program, but that's just going to extend it to the end of this calendar year. And during this year, we have to introduce legislation to redesign the program to address that specific issue. So we're going to be working hard with Congress over the next several months to make sure that veterans do have more choice.
Interesting. So there will be a follow-on bill as it pertains to choice, expanding that program.
Yes, there will, Pete.
Another bill that you've talked about is the Veterans Accountability First Act. Unlike the previous administration, you have come out strong saying we need more accountability. I need more tools to be able to fire people who are underperforming. That bill has passed the House. Can you give us an update on where it is in the Senate and what the likelihood is we'll get some action in the Senate on that?
I do believe that we're going to see this week the Senate introduce a bill on accountability, and there's strong support for making sure that I have the ability to be able to manage the system in the way that the American people want us to manage the VA.
Mr. Secretary, one of the fears is that those bills get watered down. Senator Rubio has the Senate equivalent of the House bill. Will it be Senator Rubio's bill, or is the AFGE and others trying to water this down?
Well, I think the Senate's working on that right now, and I think that they're coming up with a plan that is going to allow the VA secretary to be able to have the tools to manage this system, which is a very complex system. But I have extreme confidence in our leadership in the Senate, and I know that the leadership in the House also wants to see this happen. So I believe we'll get the bill that we need.
Last question, Mr. Secretary. There was just an executive order on whistleblowers. What are your message to whistleblowers at the VA who were not treated well in the past, but now want to come out today?
Well, I think we saw the president sign the Whistleblower Act and the office that is going to be established to support them. We want employees that are seeing problems to let us know about it, because that's how we fix them. And we want those people to feel safe in being able to tell us the problems that they see. Secretary David Shulkin, keep up the fight on behalf of veterans in this country. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.